Good morning, all of you. Today we will see the shunt motor characteristics of shunt motor, series motor, and compound motors. Generally, we know a DC motor is a device that works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. It generally converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, and it is generally we can use it in household appliances and in large industries for operating heavy loads. And next one coming, already we have seen the what about the working principle of DC motor and how to start the DC motor, like that. Now we'll see the characteristics of DC motor. The characteristics of any motor are determined to know the performance. Those are also called performance characteristics. And by this, we can conclude where it can be applied and necessary precautions can also be taken to avoid any damages. So, and for instance, a series motor should not be started directly by applying load. That is because heavy currents flow to the windings, which can damage its windings. So this type of damage can be avoided by knowing its performance characteristics, such that we can take necessary precautionary methods to avoid such damages or instances. Okay, so initially the characteristics of any motor is we have to know the performance of that particular motor, so that we can take the necessary precautions to avoid the damages. If we take a series motor, it should not be started directly by applying the load, because it draws heavy current and it damages the windings also. So that by knowing the performance characteristics, it is necessary precautionary methods to avoid such instances. So that we need to know the performance characteristics of any motor. So torque and speed play a vital role in the operation of the motor, and generally torque is produced by the flux, which gets interacted with the armature flux, and the interaction of these two fluxes develops an unidirectional torque that enables the motor to rotate. And now the speed with which the rotor should rotate comes into the picture, and the speed of the rotor generally depends upon the back EMF and the flux produced inside the motor. The relation between the torque and speed explains how we can draw the characteristic curve between them. And based on the arrangement of the winding, the different types classified, and accordingly the characteristics also differ. So torque and speed characteristics plays important role in the operation of motor. Generally, how the torque produces, the torque is produced by the flux, and it is interacts with the armature flux. The interaction of these two fluxes develops a unidirectional torque, which rotates the motor. And now the speed with which the rotor should rotate comes into picture. And next one, the speed of the motor, the speed of the rotor generally depends on the back EMF and flux produced inside the motor, and the relation between the torque and speed that gives the characteristics curve between them. And sometimes based on the arrangement of winding also, the classification is made. Okay, so now coming to the characteristics, that is, first let us take the DC shunt motor. In DC shunt motor, the armature and field winding are connected in parallel across the supply voltage, and the resistance of the shunt winding RSH is always higher than the armature winding RA, and since V and RSH both remains constant, the ISH remains essentially constant, and as field current is responsible for generation of flux, so phi is directly proportional to ISH. So shunt motor is also called as a constant flux motor because phi is directly proportional to ISH. That is, if we take V and RSH both remains constant, the ISH also remains constant, and the field current is responsible for generation of flux, so that the flux is directly proportional to ISH. So this shunt motor is also called as the constant flux motor. So now let us move to the next one, torque and speed equation of DC shunt motor. We know already that T is directly proportional to phi Ia, but for DC shunt motor, phi is directly proportional to ISH, and ISH is constant, so that phi is also constant. Obviously, the torque in DC shunt motor T is directly proportional to Ia. So before going to the characteristics, we should know the relation, how the torque is related with the armature current, and the back EMF and speed, how they are interrelated with each other, we should know. And so the torque in DC shunt motor is T is directly proportional to Ia. And for DC motor, already we know this expression, EB is equal to 5Zn by 60 into P by A. And if we take ZP, A, phi and 60 are constants, so N is directly proportional to EB. It is directly proportional to V minus Ia RA. Okay, so now the speed N, it is directly proportional to the back EMF, and it is directly proportional to obviously V minus Ia RA. Next one, these are the relations, that is torque is directly proportional to Ia, and speed is directly proportional to EB, and initially the phi is directly proportional to ISH, like that. Now let us move to the characteristics of DC shunt motor. So to study the performance of the DC shunt motor, we should know the characteristics to be studied, that is torque versus armature current characteristics, speed versus armature current characteristics, and speed versus torque characteristics. First one, torque versus armature current characteristics. So T is directly proportional to Ia, torque versus armature current characteristics. And second one, speed versus armature. Second, N is directly proportional to V minus IRA, so that speed versus armature current characteristics. Third one, speed versus torque characteristics. So these are the main characteristics of DC shunt motor. So first let us move to torque versus armature current. Torque versus armature current characteristics of DC shunt motor. Torque is taken on the y-axis, and armature current is taken as on the x-axis, as T is directly proportional to Ia, so that we will get a linear curve. So the characteristics curve gives the information that how torque of machine will vary with armature current, which depends on the load on the motor. Okay, so we will get the linear relationship between those two. That is, in case of DC shunt motors, we can assume that the field flux phi to be constant, even though at heavy loads phi decreases in a small amount due to increased armature reaction, and we are neglecting the change in the flux phi, and torque is directly proportional to the armature current. Hence, the torque versus armature current characteristics for a DC shunt motor will be a straight line through the origin. That is, we can say that there is a linear relationship between torque and armature current. And since heavy starting load needs heavy starting current, shunt motor should never be started on a heavy load. So precautionary measures we have to take, that is Already we know that T is directly proportional to Ia, so that the characteristics will get a straight line through the origin, so that heavy starting load needs heavy starting current, so that shunt motor should never be started on a heavy load. Okay, next one. Next, coming to the speed versus armature current characteristics. Speed versus armature current characteristics. So, and here as flux phi is assumed to be constant, we can say N is directly proportional to EB, but as back EMF is also almost constant, the speed should remain constant, but practically phi as well as EB decreases with increase in load, so that back EMF EB decreases slightly more than phi. That is here flux is constant, so that N is directly proportional to EB, but EB is also constant, the speed should remain constant also, but in practical cases phi as well as EB decreases with increasing load. Back EMF EB decreases slightly more than phi, so that the speed decreases slightly. Generally the speed decreases only by 5 to 15% of full load speed. Therefore a shunt motor can be assumed as a constant speed motor. And in speed versus armature current characteristics, the straight horizontal line, I mean here it is not shown, but we will get a straight horizontal line represents the ideal characteristics and actual characteristics. So this is the actual characteristic, speed versus armature current characteristics. And here, so flux, here we get the back EMF of DC motor is EB equal to 5Zn by 60 into P by A, or we can write V minus IARA, so that N is equal to V minus IARA into 60A by 5PZ, and these all we can take as constant, so the remaining terms, that is V minus IARA by 5, where K is equal to 60A by ZP, and it is constant in DC shunt motor. When supply voltage V is kept constant, the shunt field current and hence flux per pole will also be constant, so that N is directly proportional to V minus IARA. So this is how the shunt motor characteristics for speed versus armature current characteristics. Okay, next one, speed versus torque. Speed versus torque characteristics. So from the above two characteristics, that is two characteristics are torque versus armature current and speed versus armature current. The torque developed and speed at various armature currents of DC shunt motor, it may be noted, and if these two and these values are plotted, the graph representing the variation of speed with torque developed is obtained, and this curve resembles the speed versus current characteristics, as the torque is directly proportional to the armature current. Okay, these are the characteristics. As the torque increasing, the speed decreases slightly. Speed versus torque characteristics. Speed versus torque characteristics of DC shunt motor. So this type of motor is used in applications requiring medium starting torque, such as centrifugal pumps, blowers, fans, conveyors, like that. Will use this DC shunt motor. So now let us move to applications. So these motors are generally called constant speed motors. So they use generally in lathe machines, drilling machines, grinders, blowers, and compressors. So these are the general applications of DC shunt motor. Applications of DC shunt motor. Next, let us move to DC series motor. So in DC series motor, if we observe, already we know that the field and armature both are connected in series. So the resistance of series field winding RS, it is very much small than the armature resistance RA, and the flux produced is proportional to the field current, but in this IF equal to IA, so phi is directly proportional to IA, and the flux can never become constant in DC series motor. As load changes, IF and IA also gets changed. So this DC series motor is not a constant flux motor. Okay, and next one, here also characteristics of DC series motor. So torque versus armature current characteristics, speed versus armature current characteristics, and speed versus torque characteristics. First, let us move to the torque versus armature current characteristics of DC series motor. And the characteristics are also that is torque versus armature current characteristics are also known as electrical characteristics. And also we know that the torque, it is directly proportional to the product of armature current and field flux. So T is directly proportional to phi Ia. In DC series motors, field winding it is connected in series with the armature, and Ia equal to If, so that before magnetic saturation of the field, phi is directly proportional to Ia. Hence, before magnetic saturation, T is directly proportional to Ia square. Therefore, the torque versus armature curve is parabola for smaller values of Ia. Here you can see the characteristics, torque versus armature current characteristics. That is, in DC series motors, field winding is connected in series with the armature, so that Ia equal to If. Therefore, before magnetic saturation of the field, flux phi is directly proportional to Ia, and hence before magnetic saturation, Ta is directly proportional to Ia square, so that Ta, that is torque versus armature characteristics is parabola for smaller values of Ia. And after the magnetic saturation of the field poles, flux phi is independent of the armature current Ia, so that the torque varies proportional to Ia only. So now in this case T is directly proportional to Ia. Therefore, after magnetic saturation, torque versus armature current curve becomes a straight line. Okay, so before magnetic saturation it is a parabola, and after magnetic saturation it is a straight line. So before magnetic saturation is T is directly proportional to Ia square, that is Ia equal to If, and before magnetic saturation of the field, flux phi is directly proportional to Ia, and after magnetic saturation, flux phi is independent of armature current Ia. So the torque varies proportional to Ia, so that T is directly proportional to Ia, and so that after magnetic saturation, T is the curve becomes a straight line, and the shaft torque is less than armature torque due to stray losses, so that the curve T versus Ia lies slightly lower, and in DC series motors, torque increases as the square of the armature current. These motors are used where high starting torque is required. So the torque developed in any DC motor, we know that T is directly proportional to phi Ia, and in case of DC series motor, as field current is equal to armature current, and for small value of Ia, T is directly proportional to Ia, so that the torque in the DC series motor for small value of Ia, T is directly proportional to Ia square. When Ia is large, the phi remains the constant due to saturation, and the torque is directly proportional to armature current for large value of Ia, so that after that T is directly proportional to Ia, and the torque versus armature current characteristics begin to rise parabolically at low value of armature current, and when saturation is reached, it becomes a straight line. These are the characteristics, electrical characteristics, that is T versus Ia. Next one, speed versus armature current characteristics. Speed versus armature current characteristics. And next one, we know that N is directly proportional to EB by phi for small load current, that is hence for small armature current, change in back EMF EB is small, and it may be neglected also. So for small currents, speed is inversely proportional to phi, and we know that the flux is directly proportional to Ia, and speed is inversely proportional to Ia, so that when armature current is small, that is very small, the speed becomes very high, so that a series motor, for this reason, a series motor should never be started without some mechanical load. That is for small load current, that is for small armature current, change in back EMF EB is small, and sometimes it may be neglected also. So for small currents, speed is inversely proportional to phi, and we know that flux is directly proportional to Ia, and speed is inversely proportional to Ia, so that when armature current is very small, the speed becomes very high. This is the reason why a DC series motor should never be started without some mechanical load. But at heavy loads, armature current Ia is large, so speed is, hence the speed becomes low, which results in decreased back EMF EB. Due to this decreased EB, more armature current is allowed. More armature current is allowed. If you know, if you see here, N is equal to K into V minus Ia Ra by phi. When supply voltage V is kept constant, speed of the motor is inversely proportional to flux. In DC series motor, field exciting current is equal to armature current, which is nothing but a load current. So at light load, when saturation is not attained, flux will be proportional to the armature current, hence speed will be inversely proportional to armature current. Hence speed and armature current characteristics is hyperbolic curve up to saturation. We observe that here, as the load increases, the armature current increases and the field gets saturated. Once the field gets saturated, flux will become constant irrespective of increase in the armature current, so that at heavy load the speed of the DC series motor remains constant. So the DC series motor has high starting torque. The curve is like that only, hyperbolic curve up to saturation. Next one, speed versus torque characteristics of DC series motor. The speed versus torque characteristics, if we see here, the characteristics are also called as mechanical characteristics. When speed is high, torque is low, and vice versa. That is, when speed is high, torque is low, and vice versa. The speed versus torque characteristics of DC series motor will be similar to the speed versus armature current characteristics. It will be rectangular hyperbola. These characteristics are also called as mechanical characteristics. When speed is high, torque is low. Coming to applications of DC series motor, the main fetching of the DC series motor is it is having very high starting torque, so that we can use in tractions and heavy loads. So these motors are useful in applications where starting torque required is high and quick acceleration, so that we can use these motors in traction, hoists and lifts, crane, rolling mills, conveyors, like that. Heavy loads, that is where they are used, we can use the series DC series motors. Okay, next one, DC compound motor. The DC compound motor, if we take, so DC compound motors have both the series as well as shunt winding. In a compound motor, if series and shunt windings are connected such that series flux is in direction as that of the shunt flux, then the motor is said to be cumulatively compounded. And if the series flux is opposite to the direction of the shunt flux, then the motor is said to be differentially compounded. Here once again I am repeating, if series and shunt windings are connected in such a way that series flux is in direction as that of the shunt flux, then the motor is said to be cumulatively compounded. And if the series flux is opposite to the direction of the shunt flux, then the motor is said to be differentially compounded. Here also it has series field winding and shunt field winding. The combination of series and shunt winding allows the motor to have the torque characteristics of the series motor and the regulated speed characteristics of the shunt motor. So we have short shunt compound motor and long shunt compound motor. If we see the short shunt compound motor, when the shunt field winding is connected in parallel with the armature, like DC shunt motor, and this assembly is connected in series with the series field winding, then this type of motor is called as short shunt compound motor. So like in a DC shunt motor, when it is connected in series with the series field winding, then the motor is called a short shunt compound motor. And depending upon the polarity of the connection of short shunt motor, it is cumulative compound motor and differential compound motor. So next one, cumulative compound motor. If we take it is showing the diagram of cumulative compound motor. It is also called, because why it is called a cumulative compound motor is the shunt field is connected so that its coils are aiding the magnetic field of the series field and armature. So that is they're adding each other. The magnetic that is the shunt field is connected so that its coils are aiding the magnetic fields of the series field and armature, so that it is called a cumulative compound motor. So cumulative compound motors are used where series characteristics are required, but the load is likely to be removed completely, and series field winding takes care of the heavy load, and whereas the shunt winding prevents the motor from running at dangerously high speeds when the load is suddenly removed. And these motors have generally employed a flywheel where sudden and temporary loads are applied like in rolling mills. You can observe in this diagram cumulative compound motor. So in this cumulative compound motor, the cumulative compound motor is the most common DC motors because it provides high starting torque and good speed regulation at high speeds. So the shunt field is wired with similar polarity in parallel with the magnetic field that is aiding the series field and the armature field. So it is cumulative, and when the motor is connected in this way, it can start even with a large load and then operate smoothly when the load varies slightly. And if we remember that a shunt motor can provide that is smooth operation of full speed, but it cannot start with a large load attached. And in a series motor, it can start with a heavy load, but its speed cannot be controlled. And the cumulative compound motor takes the best characteristics of both the series motor and shunt motor, which makes it acceptable for most of the applications. This is about why the cumulative compound motor, the characteristics are like this. Coming to here, differential compound motors. Since in the differential field motors, series flux opposes the shunt flux. The total flux decreases with increase in load. Due to this, the speed remains almost constant, or even it may increase slightly with increasing load, because N is directly proportional to EV by phi. Differential compound motors are not commonly used, but they find limited applications in experimental and research work. We can find these cumulatively compound motors. So differential compound motors use the same motor and windings as the cumulative compound motor, but they are connected in a slight different manner to provide slightly different operating speed and torque characteristics. In this diagram, a differential compound motor with a shunt field connected, so its polarity is reversed to the polarity of the armature. So shunt field is still connected in parallel with only the armature. It is considered as a short shunt DC motor. And if you notice here in this diagram, F1 and F2 are connected in reverse polarity to the armature, and in the differential compound motor the shunt field is connected so that its magnetic field opposes the magnetic fields in the armature and series field. And when the shunt field's polarity is reversed like this, its field will oppose the other fields, and the characteristics of the shunt motor are not as pronounced in this motor. This means that the motor will tend to overspeed when the load is reduced, just like a series motor. Its speed will also drop more than the cumulative compound motor when the load increases at full RPM. So that these two characteristics make the differential motor less desirable than the cumulative motor for most of the applications. That is, once again I am repeating that F1 and F2 are connected in reverse polarity to the armature. In the differential compound motor, the shunt field is connected so that its magnetic field opposes the magnetic fields in the armature and a series field. When the shunt field's polarity is reversed like this, its field will oppose the other fields, and the characteristics of the shunt motor are not as pronounced in this motor, and the motor will tend to overspeed when the load is reduced as in the series motor, and its speed also it comes less than the cumulative compound motor when the load increases at full speed. And then these two characteristics make the differential motor less desirable than the cumulative motor for most applications. Next, let us move to long shunt compound motor. When the shunt field is connected in parallel with both the series field and the armature, then this type of motor is called as long shunt compound motor. And depending upon the polarity connection of shunt field winding, series field winding and armature, long shunt motor is classified as again cumulative compound motor, differential compound motor. Here in DC motors, both shunt and series field acting simultaneously. In cumulative compound motor, series field assists the shunt field. And here in such motors, when the armature current increases, the field flux also increases. So for a given armature current, the torque whatever it is the developed will be higher, and the speed will be lower when compared to DC shunt motor. And in differential compound motor, series field opposes the shunt field, so that when armature current decreases, torque developed will be lower, and speed will be greater when compared to the DC shunt motor. So in DC compound motors, both the shunt and series field acts simultaneously. The in cumulative compound motor, this series field gives assists the shunt field. When the armature current increases, the field flux also increases, and for the given armature current, the torque developed will be greater, and speed lower when compared to a DC shunt motor. And in case of differential compound motor, series field opposes the shunt field. So the armature current decreases, the field flux also decreases. So for given armature current, the torque developed will be lower and speed is greater when compared to the DC shunt motor. And we'll see the characteristics of DC compound motor, that is torque versus armature current and speed versus armature current and speed versus torque characteristics. Here we can observe torque versus armature current and speed versus armature current, and finally speed versus torque characteristics. So cumulative compound motors are used where series characteristics are required, but load is likely to be removed completely, and series winding takes care of the heavy load, whereas the shunt winding prevents the motor from running at dangerously high speeds when the load is suddenly removed. And differential compound motors, since in a differential field motor, series flux opposes the shunt flux, the total flux decreases with increase in load. Due to this, the speed remains almost constant, or even it may increase slightly with increase in load. And differential compound motors are not commonly used, and they have limited applications in experimental and research works. Observe the characteristics, how the compound motor characteristics differs. Coming to applications of DC compound motor, the motors have high starting torque. They can be operated even at no loads, as they run at moderately high speed at no load. Hence, cumulative compound motors are used for the following applications, that is elevators, rolling mills, punches, shears, planers, like that. These are the applications of DC compound motors. So this is about the characteristics of DC DC shunt motor, series motor and compound motors.